Hello fellow SnowRunners, what is going on out there today? I have been just pounding away on the new Highway Haulin 2 map. The last week I'm deep into writing all the contracts, adding them in the game. I've got probably about 15 in game right now. Figured I'd come in, do a quick test, see if I got things going right. We are heading out to do a crafting run. This is a task that is a couple deep on one of the, well, it's a contract, not a task. Kind of laid out some of these missions as building up a certain factory, and there'll be contracts that have 4 or 5 different steps to get everything up and going. This one's going to be part of the brewery. It's probably about the 3rd one deep in the set of contracts to get through this one. So I haven't done the other one, so I can't bring the contract up on screen, but we're going to go and craft a boiler. So we're going to run around the map, pick up the stuff we need, go over, craft the boiler. And unfortunately, because I'm not at that mission yet, because I have to do other ones, we can't actually complete it. But it's the first time I've ever added crafting onto a map, go figure, and I wanted to make sure I did it right. Now, quickest way would be left, but you can see we have a bit of a road issue. And I'm not sure that you can sneak around this very easy. I was looking in the editor when I built it. Looks like the right side you probably can. Don't think I want to try with this 8-slot trailer. I'll leave it up to you folks to figure out if you can get around it. You can repair that road. It's going to be, I don't want to say cheesy. I had to use a model in game so it works. And then you can pass through it. So it's another task that I've added in. I know I said I was going to stop adding tasks and save some for the region, but they just keep flowing, and I've added a few more steps into a bunch of the factory builds. It's really coming along quite well. We're definitely going to be with the recovery missions, which I haven't even started writing or adding in or anything, and I think I'm already at 30 missions. So this should be a good run around on this map. I've really tried to spread out different places where you're picking up cargo and deliveries, so you should run over just about every road. And really, the way I've laid out the road system, I'm hoping you all get quite a few options to go around and do deliveries. Again, gonna have a bunch of repeatable tasks in this one, so you can continue the fun if you're having it. We're gonna loop back around up the highway here and hop back on the other overpass and go up the small road that way. There's so many ways you could get over to this place. We're heading over to the metal loading area. Again, if I could have just crossed that broken road, we'd probably already be halfway there, but I don't even think I have that task added in yet, but there's going to be a lot of that in this map. There's going to be a few blocker tasks like I always have. I know some people get a little confused with it, so I'll try to label it better. I'll try to work into descriptions when you get loading areas opened, that kind of stuff, just to keep everyone focused. Look at that building in the background's tipped sideways. Must have clicked on it by accident. I hope it's just that. Sometimes when you right click in the editor, a real fast click seems to click or basically activate a whole bunch of models at once. And sometimes you accidentally move a bunch of things and don't even realize it. It's really frustrating. There's no way around it. Just some days it does it a lot, sometimes it doesn't. I took this turn just very poorly. Tried to give a little more room on these off-ramps to get through with these big trailers. I just didn't use the extra room. I've ended up filling in the middle of the highway with trees. I think it makes it look just a little bit nicer. The uphill way we just looked there is going to be the third map. I'm going to go out the other way of the highway for the next map after this. This one I am shooting for, I don't know, I've kind of picked out like November 5th to have it released. Maybe sooner, but I'm going to call it November 5th now. That should give me enough time to finish adding everything in and give it some decent testing and hopefully clean up any of the little things. I'm not done filling in around all the houses and factories. I'm probably 3/4 of the way done, and I've just kind of taken a break and went into doing tasks for a bit because I was kind of getting tired of filling in all those little things. It's just a lot of clicking and typing and finding models and stuff, and it gets a little repetitive after a while, so I figured I'd go into the task thing so far. And on a positive note, I got 15 tasks added or missions, contracts, tasks, and I had no errors, which is a nice touch. That means you don't have to go and mess around trying to figure out where you put in wrong. So obviously taking my time doing it properly, which is good, because you take a little more time on the first run, you probably end up saving time, because fixing issues is not very enjoyable. You gotta dig around and look and yeah, it's just take the time the first time. I've learned it. Sometimes I don't adhere to it. I did see that Outback Heavy Hauling finally got out there this week, which was nice. I guess my switching up that task and just breaking it into two, I was quite confident that having trailers on 2 different maps in the same task was the issue. I just thought maybe I could put them in different stages, which would be building the mission a different way, although it would work the same, would fix it. It didn't seem to. Just broke them into 2 tasks and seems to have gotten through, so I hope whoever's had a chance to get out on it is having a good time. Now this is our metal loading factory. It is going to be open from the start. You'll have to use it a few times, as we're doing right now on this crafting run. We're going to have to get 1 metal beam and a metal roll. We got small pipes, and then we're also going to have to get 2 service parts, but it just worked out this way. We get a freebie on this one because the service parts actually get loaded, or their loading area is at the crafting warehouse that we're headed anyways. So yep, in this mission it works out. Ooh, not really showing very good backup skills on this one. I used the 8-slot trailer because I forgot that the service parts were already at the warehouse. We're headed with the rest of the stuff. It's challenging to get around a lot of these areas. I've made them fairly decent size, but you are going to have to drive your way through some of these warehouses. It is pretty tight in some turns. Just something I did in Outback Overlanding too, but it kind of adds to the driving challenge, I find, and you got to kind of pick which places you can take these big trailers in. Get rid of this rain, make it a little bit sunnier out here. So this is the second little town. There's going to be a repair shop and a trailer store here. There's a trailer store back at the spot that we started in as well, so there's going to be 2 on the map. And the garage you've seen in another video, it's somewhat towards the middle of the map this time, but it's up a hill, so you're gonna have to take, there's quite a few roads that you can get or take to get to it, but it's fairly central in the map, and then trailer stores on each side, which should help out. I will hide a few vehicles around the map to be found as usual in trailers. That's a canning factory in the background. That's going to be another set of, it's a contract that's going to have a set of missions, probably 4 or 5 of them, cleaning up, building the building, all that, and then at the end you're going to get a repeatable task that you can do. So that's where I think there's, like I may have mentioned, 5 or 6 repeatable missions, something like that. So hopefully with the road system you can maybe do things a couple times if you want to get a few more miles on this specific landscape and terrain. We are going to take the muddy road across. To get to where I'm going on good roads, we'd have to go around up by the lake and back in. Basically we'd be doing a great big circle, so this is going to be shorter, but this mud is not going to be super easy with this big trailer and truck. I just have off-road tires on because there's a fair bit of asphalt, which is a challenge of this map. If you go full mud tires, you're not going to have quite as good on-road traction, although there's mods that can bypass that issue. So we'll see if this is the right choice. It's not doing too bad right now. This truck without the real, I think they're tractor tires they're called, without the real big mud and tires, it's pretty realistic in the mud. It's Iceberg's W990 or Hercules for the console version, and it's been around quite a long time. It's an awesome truck. I've used it many a times in many a videos, and it's always a go-to tester, and just love the look of these Kenworths, which sounds like is what we're gonna get next with the DLC truck coming out. If anyone saw the community update, that was, I guess, something. Hopefully they make some progress on some of the fixes I've seen with the new season on especially Xbox. Sounds like there's just a ridiculous amount of crashing, which is kind of sad that it's, I don't know, some of the updates seem to make it so much more volatile, the game, with little things setting it off. I've seen a few stories of people just saying it just kind of gets progressively worse, so it almost seems like there's a memory leak or something, like something that accumulates as you play longer. PC seems to be fine, but the consoles are having a hard time, and it just sucks. I mean, the updates I've always found is pretty bittersweet. Usually there's issues, there's new content. As a modder, other than getting new models and stuff to play with, I wish in a way that they stopped updating it, because then they could just make the game stable and it could stay stable and we could do our thing. But I also get that they want to keep supporting it, and I know players love the new content. It just gets old because it seems like every step forward is 2 steps back. But I still love the game. I still absolutely love creating, and I'm going to keep doing it, and eventually they'll get it sorted out. It really does sound like they are more focused on fixing things, especially not mentioning what's coming up in the next season in this update. So let's hope that they truly do hammer down, focus, and I believe they've always been trying to make things better, don't get me wrong. Maybe it's a lack of people, of workforce, that might be slowing it down. Who knows? I'm sure some of the team has moved over to the Expeditions build, which obviously they'd be working hard at. They haven't really let out a release date yet, as far as I know, but they're saying next year. But I really hope they get the game smoothed out. It's funny how many comments I get of something not working, and I mean, a lot of times it is my fault, but I would say the majority of times it's just a game issue that we as modders don't have any control over. But I try to keep my eye out. I don't have a console, so I don't know most of the issues or fixes, but I do try to keep an eye out when I notice some of the people that have found fixes for things. I try to pass that on to other folks. But other than building the maps with the tools, we don't really hear a whole lot. Like the Outback heavy hauling issue, I figured out myself. I was notified that it was crashing from them, but there really isn't any support in terms of finding things out. I had a good laugh a few months ago. I did something wrong in the editor and the map crashed. And I'd never experienced it before. And I messaged my brother and I basically expressed how heartbroken I was that I had lost it was a map that I was 70, I want to say it was like Outback overlanding, and I was like 70% done, and it kept crashing every time I loaded it up. And I messaged my brother and I'm just broken hearted. I don't know what to do. And he says, well, did you check Reddit? Did you check Discord? And I said, the worst part is there's so little out there. Not to sound conceited, but I consider myself one of the people that somebody would ask if this happened, because there's just nothing out there, and there's probably not a whole lot of people that have spent more time than I have in it. And it was just one of those ones where I had to hammer through, and you know what, I picked through a whole bunch of stuff and files and how I put the missions together and all sorts of things. I can't remember what it was, but I ended up figuring it out. And after that, I joined back into Discord just because it kind of reminded me that there's people that are starting out that have absolutely no resources at all when things go wrong, and it's a super complicated program. And I just got to make sure I stay out there. I got tired of the Discord run around, and I just wanted to make sure I was staying out there to help folks that need it. So there's our service parts that I forgot were right here, and just around this corner. It kind of made me laugh when I put it in here. Maybe kind of why I did, but I saw everyone making fun of that one mission in, I don't know, was it season 9? Where you literally delivered it across the parking lot. So I thought this would be kind of a chuckle, an ode to that. And here's my first crafting station. Does it work? I don't even know how this works. I've never tried crafting. Okay, so you have to load up the crafting warehouse and then you can make stuff. Boom, we have a boiler. Lovely. That means I followed the directions properly. Right on. Well, let me know what you think about what you're seeing here. A place like this is pretty much finished. This is what you're going to see when the game comes out. I think I need to add in a manual loading spot for this, perhaps. I'm not totally sure what I'm doing, but I'll play around with it and see if I can do that. I imagine I can. Any ideas? What you like, what you don't like in this? And would love to hear what you think of the new season and what you think's going to happen with Snowrunner in the future. Well, thank you. We'll talk to you all again soon. I'm going to get back at it and plug away. I'm going to try to put a video out maybe on Sunday if I can get all the missions put in, but I am focused back to it. We'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks for watching.